Hi, everybody. This is Virginia Milner. I'm coming to you for the DeKalb County Library System, and we are doing another special program today. This one is for the to commemorate International Women's Day. I love this one. I did this for the first time last year, I think, and it's really neat. Every year they have a theme and a symbol, and this year their symbol is a hand up in solidarity. And you can look it up. I mean, International Women's Day, it has a lot of different events that you can join online, virtually, because of the pandemic, and a lot of information. It's really, really neat. So if you get a chance to look up information on International Women's Day, I think it'll be great for you. So what we're going to do, I was looking for something that had that symbol, and I finally found a little charm. Isn't that cute? I guess you can see that, Clary. It's a hand. Trying to get a good place. There's no glare. I think that's it. A hand, and my little charm has a heart in the middle. It's so cute. Then I had to decide what I wanted to do with it. Do I want to make a charm bracelet? But I didn't want to do it with anything else. I wanted it to stand out, and I also wanted it to really be seen. So I decided to go with a lariat necklace. So this is what we are making today. And at the bottom of our lariat is our hand symbol. So we're going to do that. We're going to have some spiral links for your chain. We're going to be using a chain, and we're going to be using 20 gauge wire to do spiral links with a bead in the center. We're going to wire wrap our laureate. We're going to do some beaded, we're going to attach some beads. We're going to wrap some beads around it. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And then we're going to attach our charm at the bottom. So what we're going to need today is some chain. The type is entirely up to you. I'm using just a regular chain that I got from a craft that you can get from any craft store. It's just a cable chain. It doesn't have to be anything special because you're going to be decorating it, dressing it up a little bit. You're going to need some beads. I'm using 4 millimeter, excuse me, got something in my throat. 4 millimeter bicone crystals and jump rings and a charm, or any type of charm. You don't have to do this, but this is what I'm doing. And you're going to need your usual tools, your round nose pliers, round nose pliers, square pliers, cutters. You'll need a ruler to measure out your chain and your wire. And you'll also need some kind of a cylindrical item to make the lariat to shape the lariat out of your wire. I'm just using the handle of my rubber mallet because it works. Why not? So that's what you're going to need today. And I think that's everything. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make our lariat. This little guy right here. We're going to make that first. Good way to start. So what I'm going to do, it depends on the size that you want yours to be. I want mine just big enough for my charm to go through, so it does not have to be huge. And it's going to be right up against my throat. I decided to go with approximately 18 inches because that won't be too long or too short. You can make it shorter if you want it to be more of a slightly choker length of the chain with the dangle hanging down a little further. I went with, did I do 15? I think I did 15 inches because each of my little connectors, Yeah, each of my little connectors is going to be about 5/8 of an inch, which is just a little more than a half. So, and I'm going to do 4 of those. So that's going to give me another 2 inches. And then my lariat is going to give me another inch of distance. So that'll come to about 18 inches when I'm finished, maybe more like 19 because of the jump rings that are going to link everything together. So that's what I decided to go with on my chain. And I'm going to use 6 inches of 20 gauge wire. Oh, did I tell you about the wire? You need 20 gauge wire and 24 gauge wire to do your wraps around the lariat, to wrap your beads around the lariat. So I measured out 6 inches of wire for my lariat. It might be a little more than I need, but then I can cut off what I don't need. And the first thing that I want to do is shape it in a circle. So I'm going to take my, what I'm calling a mandrel, because that's how I'm using it. And I'm just going to wrap the wire around it, get a nice circle. Okay, so now I have a circular shape. And then I'm going to make a little loop on top that will be used to connect to the chain. I'll take this off of here so I can just indicate. So I'm going to need a little loop on top that will be used to connect the chain. And then if you want, you can make a little loop with a bead in the center. You don't have to put a bead on it if you don't want to. You can just make a little spiral. I put a bead on it, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I've got my lariat shape. I want to make sure that my little hand will go through it. Boop, yep, perfectly big enough. And I'm going to go ahead and make the loop on top. And then what I don't need, I can just cut off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And what I need to do is take my round nose pliers and grasp the very tip of my wire and make a loop. Now the loop is going to go, the curve is going this way. The loop is going to go in the opposite direction. So I'm going to make a little loop. Just big enough for a jump ring to fit through. And there we go. That's going to be my connector to the chain. And then I need to make a loop on the inside that I can either make into just a spiral, or I can make it into a spiral that has a bead in it. Let's do the spiral with the bead, just because I think that's very pretty. So here's my connecting part right there. And I just need to make my spiral on the inside. So I'm going to go all the way around, about down near the bottom, just opposite of where the top spiral is. You go down there, out to the bottom there, and I'm going to snip that off so that you can see that I have a good 1.25 inches or so left of my 6 inches. But that's okay. I'd rather have more than I need than less than I need. So now I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to make a little spiral down here. I'm going to bring it up. Just take the tip of my pliers with the tip of my wire and make a small loop, kind of a half loop. Just going to spiral it up until I get the shape that I want. Now, before I do that, I want to put a bead on, just because I think that'll be very pretty. Again, you don't have to do this. I just want to do it just for the heck of it. So I have a little curve here, and that might be curved a little too much, but let's see. See if I can get my bead on there. There we go. My bead sits on there. And I'm going to curve that around. Actually, I'm going to make it a little, I want it to sit a little further down so I don't have to worry about it coming off. Straighten that a little bit more. You might have to adjust it a couple of times to get it to work. Let me get a little closer to the camera. Okay, so there it is. That's probably good enough, but I think I'm going to open it up a little bit more so just the very bare tip of my wire sticks out beyond the bead. And that way I know when I curve it around, the bead will come out. Now again, you want to be very careful because you don't want to break your crystal. So I'm going to keep curving. Get back on there. Around. And push that down so that it's nice and close to the edge there. Don't want that to come off. See, there, now it won't come off. Nice and tight. And I'm going to continue the curve. I think that's good. I'm going to push it up a little bit closer to the wire so that it won't bump into my little charm when I put it through there. So there's my curve, and then you can just adjust it to the way you want it to look. And this is very freeform. As you can see, this doesn't look exactly like this one, or I did this one. This one's a little smaller. So and I'm going to tighten that up a little bit, bring it a little around a little further away from the top. And just adjust it to the way you want it. And so there we go. There's my little decorative inside. I'll check it out, make sure that my charm will still go through it freely. Yes. And now I'm going to decorate the outside of the ring. Is that good? That looks good. Looks like a little swan. Okay. So now I'm going to put some beads here. So what I want to do, because when I attach the chain, I don't want, let me adjust this a little bit. I don't want this to pull apart. So I need to wrap that with my 24 gauge wire. And in order to, and doing that, I wanted to make it look pretty. So I'm going to add some beads on here just for decoration. Okay. So let's go. I'm going to use these little 4mm bicones. And I've got 24 gauge wire. And I just gave myself about 8 inches. I may not need that much. It depends on how many of these you want to put around the side of your lariat. And you can go crazy with that. You can put as many or as few as you want. So I'm going with 2 or 3. Let's see how many I want to do. So the first thing I want to do is wrap the edges together. And I just want to go down about 1/4 of an inch away from the loop to start my wrap. So I'm going to bend this so that it'll catch those 2 ends. And I'm going to wrap the wire around. And I like to have this little tail so I have something to hold on to. So now I can hold the short tail and wrap the long tail. Just push it through the loop. And wrap it around. And I just need about 3 wraps in order to make it nice and secure. Push that through. Nice and tight. And I like to make sure that my wraps are nice and close together. So I'll go in with my pliers and just kind of squeeze it so it's nice and tight against my 2 wires. Then wrap it again. One more time. Push it through the loop. And nice and tight, pull it tight. So pull that nice and tight. Push the rings together. And there we go. Now, I want to show you something because I should have put the short end on the outside and started wrapping on the inside with the long end. So I should have been wrapping from the end to the inside. That's my mistake. That I'm going to just correct by wrapping over the other wrap. But I want you to do it the other way. So now I'm going to cut that short tail off because I don't need it. And I'm going to cut it just right as close as I can get to the other rings. Hold on to that tail so it doesn't fly away. And then I'm going to press that end down with my pliers. In order to correct my faux pas, I'm just crossing over to get to the other side. And I can start wrapping my bead. So I'm going to put my first bead on. If I could, don't do that. If I can find the hole. How about these lights to contend with? And it's like, okay. So put my first bead on. And would you look at that? This is drilled wrong. They drilled this on the side. See, this is why you bring extra beads. Okay. Put my first bead on. And I'm going to wrap it. Pull this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to feed my wire through my ring again. And wrap. Now here is a trick. One of the easiest ways to do this so that your bead lies down is to bend the wire so that there's a little well there. And then when you put your bead on, bend the wire again on the other side so that there's a little well, a little ditch, I guess I should call it. Scoot up. Okay, that's one wrap. And feed it back through the loop. Wrap number 2. And you really don't need to wrap it too many times. Let's give it one more wrap. Again, you want to make sure it's nice and tight and that your rings are close together. Okay. And let's put another bead on. Put that down a little bit. Okay. Bead on another bead. Now, remember I was telling you about the little bend? I'm going to put a little bend in it, in my wire, like so. See if you can see that. Sorry about the shaking. There we go, I think. So I put a little bend in my wire that my bead can rest down in. And then I'm going to bend the wire on the other side so that it rests nice and neat against my frame. Okay, there we go. Like so. And I'm going to feed my wire through again. Adjust my bead. Here's my one wrap. Feed my wire through again. And one more time. And notice how much easier it is the shorter my wire is. So if you have a really long piece of wire, it's going to be a little less easy to manipulate. So I'm going to stop. I think I have the perfect number of beads on here now. I could put one more, but then it would be at war with this one, and I don't want that. Let me see how that would look. Did I put one more on there? What do you think? I suppose I could. Yeah. I think I'll stop just to have something different. I did that on this one. I put 3 on this one. I'll just put the 2 on this one. And I think that'll do it. I like it. Let me see. Decisions, decisions. I don't know. I'm undecided. Maybe I will put one more on. Okay. Okay, let's feed my bead on. And make my little bend in my wire to accommodate my bead. And let's wrap it. Okay, one wrap, 2 wraps, and 1 more wrap. There we go. So now I'm going to cut my wire. Here's that. Let's scooch this over just a little bit so it's we're a little closer together. There we go. That's pretty. I think I'm there. Is that right there? My goodness. All right, so there we have our lariat. I'm going to clip off my wire and I'm going to clip it so that the end ends up sort of right in between, underneath on the inside of the lariat so that I can hide that end away and it won't catch on anything. Clip that off. See how much wire I had left? I cut 8 inches of wire and I obviously did not need that. Okay. And there we go. Nice. Pretty. So now it's time to put this together. And because I lost one of my beads because it's drilled incorrectly, I have to go for another bead. So let's see here. Let's see, where is another one this color? There you are. Yes, okay. Nice to have them all sitting here where I can get a hold of them. All right, so now what we're going to do is our links. These little guys right here, which are going to look like this. Of course, I already have some made, like I always do. So those are going to be our links. Oops, get up here. Little spiral links. And what you need for that is 2 inches of wire. That's what I used because I wanted mine, by the time I spiraled them and put my bead on, to be approximately 1/2 to 5/8 of an inch, which is what they turned out to be. All right, so 2 inches for that. So I'm going to grab the tip of my wire with the tip of my pliers, and I'm going to make a small partial loop because I'm doing a nice open spiral. So it doesn't need to touch. It doesn't need to be tight. It doesn't need to touch. And I'm just going to start to make a loop. I'm going to continue to wrap around that loop until I have a second loop around that one. Right on camera. There we go. And there we go. Just continue with my spiraling on the one side. And it only needs to be about 1.5 times around. So 1 time and a half. Okay. There we go. And I can make adjustments later if I need to. But that looks very good. Then I'm going to slide my bead on. And then I'm going to make a spiral on the other end. And this spiral is going to go in the opposite direction of my first spiral. So again, I'm grabbing the tip of my wire with the tip of my pliers, starting a loop. Okay. And I'm going to continue to spiral around until I have another 1.5 time around spiral. These are free form. They're not going to look exactly the same. You want to get it as close as you can, but don't worry about it being a perfect exact spiral. Unless you want to. I mean, if that's what you want to focus on, that is just fine. If this is your baby, your project, and you can be as artistic or as perfunctory as you want to be. Squeeze that together a little bit, make it a little bit closer to the other one. And once I get my spiral done, then I can just make adjustments. But it's looking pretty darn good. So I'm going to squeeze these little rings a little closer together, continue with my spiral, look on the other side, maybe add a little bit more to that side. And I think we have a winner. There we go. So there's my spiral link. And I have my others made. I'm going to put 4 on. So now the next thing that we need to do is get our chain. So now you want to decide how far apart you want to do your spirals. And what you can do is just lay it down and see where you want them to go. You can use a beadboard for this, but you don't have to. So here's my lariat. Okay. And there's my charm that's going to go through it. And then I just want to decide where I want to place my links. Now, when I did this one, I decided to put most of them on the side with the hand, and then just put one on the side with the lariat. And I'm going to repeat that process. So what I did with the hand, the one with the hand, is I just cut every every 6th link. So I would have 5 rings in between each one. And it depends on how you want it to land. And it depends on the size of the links of your chain. So I just wanted about 1 inch between each of my links, 1 inch. So then I just measured out how many rings that would be in order to get that inch. Now you have to take into consideration that you're going to have jump rings as well. And I'm using 6mm jump rings so that they're about the same comparable size as the spirals in my links. So when I add my jump ring in to my chain, in order to get an inch between one end and my connector, I needed to cut off 5 links, because with my jump ring, that makes 1 inch. So there's my jump ring, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 links. and another jump ring on the other side. And that gives me 1 inch. So let's cut. So I'm going to cut my 5 links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cut the 6th link. Same thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Always count twice. Cut once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cut the 6th link. Okay, so that's where the hand is going to go. And my 1 connector. Second link. Second connector. 1 more link. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got the 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Off. And my 3rd link is going to go here. Here's my chain. And there we have it. Now on the other side, I decided to go with 12 or 10 spaces in between, so I could go halfway in between the ones on this side. Now you don't have to do it this way. You can just look at it, decide where you want it to go, and that's it. But because I wanted to be able to have this link either in between these two or matching that one, I decided to just double the number of links in order to get the same effect on this side. And so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I go 10 links, that's going to put my connector right there. Right there. Awesome. So let's cut that off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cut the 11th one. Count again. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And snip. And let's put it all together. So now I need my jump rings. And let's look at the proper way to open your jump ring. Take your pliers and put them on one side of your opening. You can take your thumb and push down on the other side in order to open it. Or you can take your pliers, put it on one side of the opening, and take another pair of pliers and twist down to open. You don't ever want to pull your rings apart because then you ruin the shape of your ring. And this way, where'd you go? This way, when I pull it apart or push it down and connect, I put the ring on one side of my chain, the other side, the other part is my link, and I put that also on my ring. So I have my chain on the ring, my link on the ring, and then all I have to do is push it closed, and I have a perfect closure. You might have to adjust it just a little bit, but not as much as if you had pulled it apart. So there's my one connector. This could be a little more flush. There we go. And then we're going to go on the other side, attach the ring to the other side of my spiral, piece of chain also in the ring. Get on there. My fingers are in the way. There we go. Close it up. Okay, so there's one link. Let's get another jump ring. These will open up a bunch of them. So we need to knead them. Open, open, open. Okay, attach my chain to the loop, the jump ring, attach my spiral, and close. Make whatever adjustments you need to make, just to make sure that your jump ring is nicely closed. Jump ring on the other side of my spiral. And my chain. Close it. And last one on this side. Chain on the jump ring. Spiral on the jump ring. And close. Okay, now this time, where'd that come from? Does that go somewhere? Is that going on here too? Yes, yes, yes. One more piece of chain. Jump ring to the spiral. Yeah. The only thing about that coating is it makes things slippery. And my piece of chain. And close it up. There we go. Very nice. Now what's next? Jump ring. Attach my chain. And attach my hand. And close. So that's one side all ready to go. Let's go to the other side. Another couple of jump rings here. And the number of jump rings you'll need is dependent on the number of spirals or links that you decide to make. So I'm going to take my jump ring, attach my chain, attach my, wait, what am I doing here? Yep. Yep, jump ring and my spiral. Close it up. Now see how that's not moving? I need to open up my little link a little bit so that I have some movement in here. I don't want it to be stiff. I want it to move around nice and free. There we go. And now my jump ring on the other side of my spiral. There we go. Give myself enough space in there so that my jump ring will move freely. And this is my longer length of chain on this side. And close it. That was the 10-inch piece or the 10 link piece. And this is the one that's going to attach to my lariat. One last jump ring. On my chain and on my lariat. See what to go that way. And close. And ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Here is our necklace. Isn't that lovely? Ta-da! I said that word again. Anyway, there it is. So pretty. Let's put it on the display and see what it looks like. Okay. Da-da-da-da. Ta-da! A friend of mine said, don't fight the ta-das. I say that stupid word every time. She said, you just need to embrace it. So I'm embracing it. There we go. There is our lariat. And see how easy that is? Just to take a few measurements, decide how you want it to look. That's it. Put it together and enjoy. So neat, so easy, so simple, and it makes a statement. I'm going to pull this back a little bit so you can see it a little bit, or I'll just put it over here. There we go. So now it's a little easier to see, but it makes a statement. But if you get a chance, look up, get up here where you can see it. Look up International Women's Day just to see what it's about, because it's really interesting, I think. And if you also get a chance, make one of these laureates, and I hope you will enjoy it. I hope you'll like it. I hope you have fun. So I got this one, and I've got my red one. Put that one up here. Up there. Nice. I like it. I always do. So anyway, that is our tutorial for the day. I'm going to put this one on. That's our tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will look up International Women's Day just to see what we're talking about here. I can get this adjusted. So let's, there we go. There, now you can see it. Isn't that neat? That is the neatest thing. I love it. It's so simple and so pretty. And yeah, I could have put some more beads all the way. You could put beads all the way around if you want. It just depends on how adventuresome you would like to be. Ah, I like it. I want to make sure my hand is showing. Get up here. You can't see what I'm doing. There we go. There. Isn't that neat? I love it. Lariats are the neatest thing because you don't have to worry about fastenings or anything like that. You can just put it on and go. And oh, it turned out perfect. This is exactly opposite of this one. And if I wanted to pull it down, see, opposite. There we go. There we go. Everything's backwards on camera. So they're perfectly opposite. And then if I wanted to pull it this up or down, split it, so that the hand is a little closer. It's opposite of the other one. So it's so neat. I love it. 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 And that's enough of that. Me and my chitter chatter is just ridiculous. So anyway, that's today. Oh, and I wanted to tell you, all of you DeKalb Library patrons, we are going to now have what we're calling take and make kits. So I will be making kits up that have all of the items in them that you need for the next few projects. It's a limited amount. There won't be a whole lot of them. They will be at our Toco Hills Library, our Decatur Library. Oh my goodness, I just lost my train of, let me think. Give me a minute. Let me think. I'm having a senior moment here. Chamblee Library. So Toco Hills, Decatur, Chamblee, and Wesley Chapel libraries will all have take and make kits for you to make this project. It will be a limited number, a very limited number. So make sure that you pay attention to what's happening on the Facebook page and get the information as to how you can get your kit. Okay? That's exciting. I've been wanting to do this for like ages, and now I can. So I hope that you will, and now that I can say that, you'll have the kit to work with to make it. And I hope that you will please, please post your finished project on the Facebook page of the library, because when you do, there may be more coming up for those that do post theirs. Okay? Anyway, that's it. You can see I'm so excited about this. It's so much fun. It's just another level of excitement for me, and I hope for you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy the next ones that we have upcoming, because I'm really excited about them. And I look forward to working with you some more, and I hope to hear from you, because I really like the feedback. Good, bad. If there's something that you don't like, if there's something that you don't understand, please tell me, because I can't do anything about it if I don't know. And just let us know how you did or don't enjoy this. And until then, until next time, we hope that you have a good week and a good weekend, and enjoy making your projects. Look up International Women's Day, please. Okay? And bye-bye.